Hi everyone, this is Toni Weel from beautiful Florida. I was just telling the other members here, other people here, what a gorgeous morning it was, like 75 degrees and a breeze, and I was sitting outside. My husband had brought me a liter of fresh juiced oranges. I was sitting next to a water fountain, and I have all the flowers in the front. I heard the birds. It was so gorgeous. I couldn't bring myself to get inside. So pretty much from almost, what is it, 8 o'clock, 8:30 until 11:30, I was sitting outside enjoying the beautiful yard that was created. I had the ideas, but I had a beautiful young woman who actually made it the way I wanted it. So now we have to keep it up. And this weekend we're gonna plant more papaya and mango trees and
Mm,
avocado probably, and cherry tomatoes. I want some Roma tomatoes. I found an organic farmer who's he doesn't have a big nursery, and he is in there for the love of the plants. I can even tell by his profile and the way he texts, and so I'm looking forward to receiving those and knowing it's all organic, and that's actually pretty rare to find that. So I'm extremely happy. And my figs, oh my gosh, I didn't think I would have figs this year. It is the whole it's a light, it's not even a tree, it's a small like a bush, and it's full with figs. And they call that a Suriname cherry. I don't care much for the taste, but they look pretty. So
mm,
that one is full with fruits too. So things are going really well in my yard here, and the butterflies and the bees are all happy.
wow.
And yeah, it's just having all these flowers, and I was looking at it, I was like, yeah, but I do need more I do need more fruit. The flowers they are another way of healing actually. That was my thing too. I always loved flowers. As a child, I would not even want to have, the flowers cut off. And yeah, I did pick flowers when there were a whole lot of them, like the blue cornflowers and daisies. Always had daisies there and plentiful. But other than that, no, no, don't come to me and with a gift of cut flowers, because they die in a few days, and I want to see them thrive. And now I can see them thrive. So it's beautiful. That was a long intro. I apologize, but I had to get it out. And we have with us, as usual, there's Katie, there's Sarah, there's Gary, helping us all out. Now, I came across from it's in Dr. Morse's book, the Detox Miracle Source book. If you don't have it, go get it. It was my study book for when I became a detox specialist, and there is so much in there. There's so much to learn. So yeah, it will be a good investment, and it's not that expensive anyway. But there was on page 276, module 9.1 is 9 healthy habits. And often, a little on the side, we talk about this, and it's oh, hold on. I'm sorry. It is these things on, what habits that you need, what is good to do for yourself. But I was like, well, he put it out very clear here, so let's talk about it. So my idea was, and maybe we end up doing it differently, who knows? We go with the flow as usual. And it also depends on what questions comes up. And so habit number one is be good to yourself. And I think it is on number one because it is actually the most important one. Now, this is the one that I already have in the description, but it's short, so I can read it. I can read it again. It is said you are born alone, you live alone within yourself, and you die alone. So love the one you're with. Make every moment count. Most people do not know themselves very well, and many do not even like themselves. And he writes, one day in meditation, a voice said to me, "You are my creation." I realized that all life is God's expression. We are all divine, no matter what we look like, how smart we are, or how good or bad we are. We are only using our physical bodies. Who we are as soul is much greater than the bodies we use. Love yourself, but not egotistical. Egotistically. Be like the sun, which shines its light and warmth on all life without judgment or separation. Love everything, as all things are made of God. You are divine and owe it to yourself and all life to get yourself healthy and happy. Be good to yourself and all life. And the emphasis goes on all life too, because I do find that extremely important. You cannot kill something or someone, as in an animal, and then have to feel good about yourself. I don't see how that even would work. But anyway, chime in, guys. Tell me what your how you feel about this.
Well, just today I was talking to somebody about our journey and how we're supposed to rise. And I said, when you're kind of have that negative energy, you're sad, you're angry, whatever, whatever. I said, that's not how we were created. And when somebody's looking on the outside at you and your journey, and that's how you are showcasing your journey, then you're lower, people will be like, well, why do I want to be a part of that? So, when I'm reading this, I'm thinking about, yes, you're supposed to be happy. Happy is a positive energy. And so if there's anything that you're doing or anybody that you're around that is making you not happy, then depart from them for a little while, or from that situation for a little while and go and love yourself and be happy because being happy is being healthy. So I just find that interesting that this is what we're talking about today. And that this rising, I had to remind somebody, let's rise, stay on your flight, head to paradise. And those who want to join you, they'll get their own flight and they will meet you in paradise. It's just that you get to go first. So,
Yeah, it's like what we often said actually is be the light.
Hmm.
right. Yep. And that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be the light. So yeah. And when you're being the light, then you're healthy, you're happy, you feel good. And then others want to be a part of that, you know? So take care of yourself first. Put that mask on yourself first and then take care of others.
Yes, it's hard to take care of ourselves, take care of others if we're having issues ourselves. But I will say, through helping others, you help yourself at the same time. If you're showing love to somebody else, you're showing love to yourself. And our circle of influence is so important. I mean, it is incredibly important. And there's all different levels of your circle of influence. But what happens is, and even if for those that have everything they ever wanted, if they try to leave that circle, the circle of influence, their friends are going to try and pull them back because they don't want them to leave. Same thing, no, if you don't have any money and you say, I want to go advance my life, or I want to do breath work, or I want to do something else, right? And they don't do that. Well, the friendship, even though it's done in maybe in love, is not conducive to you moving forward. It's actually holding you back. It's like when people have a hard time moving forward, that's energy stuck in their hips. And they've learned over the years, every time they try to advance, they get pulled back and it becomes a reality. And in that reality, you limit yourself, and they police you to make sure that you limit yourself. And the same goes with diet. The same, it goes with everything. I can't even tell you how many people have given me a hard time about the master cleanse. It's just a live liquid. That's all it is. But people, they're afraid of it. That's how that's how far off we are in our core vibration. We're in fight or flight, and everything scares us. Uh, well, that's not everybody, but I would say since 70% of the world right now, or the United States, is in a state of chronic illness, I'd say at least 70% are stuck there and they don't know how to get out because the people they're going to either want to drug them, do surgery, chemo, radiation, psychological things. They're not actually teaching them what their body is and how it works. So these are the things that we have to protect ourselves from and get around people that are going to help elevate us while we slowly release the influence of our past wounds, our past injuries. And I know there's a section coming up where I can get into that deeper, so I'll end it right there.
Yeah, because we have 9 healthy habits, so
Yes.
we do 10 minutes for everyone.
May I chime in real quick?
I'm sorry, Katie?
No, it's Sarah. May I chime in
Sarah.
real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I was just gonna say too that we're never alone. God is always with us. And sometimes when we eat the heavy foods and we get into depression and we let life just interfere with all of that. God is a frequency, and He is the highest frequency we could ever touch into. So by, handing your yoke over and carrying Jesus's yoke, that's one way. You don't have to worry about anything. We've talked about this a dozen times, even over in our podcast. You don't have to worry about nothing. You're already saved. So by eating your fruits, by getting in alignment, by doing your grounding, get morning light on your face and connecting with God, Abba, or whoever you call him, that is the start of our day there. And that's how you start your frequency every day. When we go to bed at night, it's a mercy. We get to wake up in the morning and we get to have a whole new day, a whole new outlook on life. So by raising your frequency and doing this by eating the fruits, live waters, you are then connecting back with God, Source, Abba, whatever you decide, and you are never alone. And the higher your frequency, the more you will see you are never alone. Not only that, but your light is going to be so bright, others are going to come to you, and you will see all the different angels that are going to appear in different ways. The same as Toni, Gary, and Katie. We've all found each other, and that's no coincidence. That's our frequencies tuning into each other.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and Sarah, that's so funny that you bring this up because I wanted to add to it is that, and this leads into habit number 2, is that when you look at the scriptures, you see Jesus, like Gary said, loving and taking care of others. But there were times when he had to step away and he had to go and be with God alone in meditation, in the wilderness, in the Mount of Olives, wherever. And so if he struggled sometimes, then we know that we're going to struggle. But he showed us what to do. Always turn to the Father, which is through meditation. So now, Toni, if you want, you can read number 2.
Hey, what about you? What about you reading it?
Oh my goodness. Well, I would, but I'm detoxing, and so I keep having to clear my throat. So if you don't mind reading it, that would be better.
All
Sorry.
right, this is meditation. Relax, relax, relax.
Mm-hmm.
Stress, sorry. Stress constricts the circulation, the bowels, the organs, and the glandular functions. This constriction leads to discomfort and tissue weakness, including constipation, lower back pain, adrenal gland, kidney weakness, anxieties, heart problems, and poor food digestion, just to name only a few possible conditions. Now, meditation is one of your greatest tools for relaxation. It allows you to relax every muscle and cell in your body. As the body relaxes, this also relaxes the mind and emotions, which are the main cause of stress in the first place. Meditation is simple, fun, and with practice can be done anywhere at any time. Now, here I have to say something. When I was in my late teens, early 20s, it was the 70s, meditation was a big thing. And I figured I can't do that. I don't know how that works. I cannot stare at a dot on a white white piece of paper, because that is what they were doing. I did not understand meditation. But then, and this is only in the last few years actually, that was when someone, and I don't remember who it was, but kudos go there, who said everything that you do full with joy and no thought is meditation. And I realized that when I was like watering the plants. I have no thought. There is no constant, stuff going on in my body. And that is where I was, my work was always what I absolutely loved to do. I never had a job. I always had my own business, but I adored what I absolutely loved what I was doing. I was creating, and I could do that without any thought. So remember, that is what meditation can be too. So, okay, we go further on the text. It's best to start a meditation practice by finding a quiet place where no one will bother you. Give yourselves 30 minutes or so. It is also best if you can set up a routine, starting at the same time each day if possible. You will want to sit or lie down in a position that is comfortable for you and where you will not be disturbed. So no cats or barking dogs or kids, that kind of thing. Close your eyes and take about 10 deep breaths. This would be a great time to practice abdominal breathing, beginning to relax all over, allowing your mind a break from thinking. You are now going to just relax and observe. You may start with your toes and begin to relax each part of your body as you work your way up. Relax your legs, your arms, your torso, and your face. Allow yourself to relax to the point of feeling like air, where you are like a floating feather with no direction or desire for anything. Observe and listen. But do this totally relaxed as if you are watching a movie. Once fully relaxed, you may wish to purposely move your attention anywhere. If you hear a pop and find yourself out of your physical body, do not be alarmed. You just had an OBE, out of body experience. Relax. Meditation is your time to be with yourself without external influences or the constant demands of the mind and emotions. Meditation will open doors that were previously shut and will allow true healing to take place. Your knowingness of and relationship with God will expand greatly. By opening yourself in the above manner, spirit can flow through you unobstructed. This can bring great healing, and if you're listening, you never know what you might experience. It is far better to listen to God than to speak to God. Remember, just be. And this is actually quite amazing because it listening and things will come to you. If you can quiet your mind and trust, things will come to you. You will know what to do. You will know which direction to go. So yes, I feel that meditation is very important, and it's interesting that he brought up also the breathing, which we talk about in every podcast. So yeah, chime in, guys.
Katie and I did a whole podcast on prayer, which is meditation. And it is, people think that prayer is about, you go in, you have to ask for things, you ask God for your help, or help me this, help me that. But He does know everything that we need. We never have to ask. So prayer is meditation. And meditation, yes, you can start out with a guided meditation. It helps a lot of people because a lot of people have a lot of chatter in their mind. But when you ground yourself, it is so important to find that inner peace, that quiet. And as a thought comes up or as a feeling comes up, it's okay to acknowledge it and you say, okay, I'll think about that later. And then you just try to find that deep quiet within you and it comes. Don't give up on it. And again, the higher your frequency, the more you clear stuff out of your body, the easier it's going to be. I used to fall asleep and I would be like, well, I'm not getting anywhere. But those few moments between when I quieted my mind and before sleep, that was the meditation. And the more I do it, the stronger that gets, the longer I can hold that without actually falling into sleep.
Yeah, that is so true. That as we are experiencing life and we're involved in the media and the hustle and bustle of the day, we get wound up and we don't know how to turn off fight or flight and get into rest, digest, and heal. So it just keeps elevating and elevating and elevating, and the mind, right? The memory is in the body, but the mind, as the stress comes up, will keep going levels up, and it'll just keep going higher and higher, and your body will go deeper and deeper into dis-ease because of that. And a lot of that is our breath, because every emotion is attached to a breath. So if you're having a stressful day and you're not breathing in through your nose, your mouth breathing, your lack of oxygen is stressing the body. And allowing ourselves that half hour or whatever you can get. There's 24 hours in a day. So we have to find a half hour somewhere. Even if your family is demanding attention, train them to allow you a half an hour of quiet time, of silent time, even if you have to leave the house and go someplace. And something that helps get rid of a lot of anxiety in the body is to take a pillow with you and go for a ride and sit someplace and just take a deep breath through the nose and scream as loud as you can into a pillow for as long as you can, and then inhale again and scream again, and you're shaking all the areas that are stuck in your body, like anger in the liver and being ticked off in the kidneys and fear moving forward in the hips, depression in the lungs. Uh, uh, so guilt and a lot of stress happens in the womb. Um, and it affects everything that we do. That's why I don't believe in disease. I believe in dis-ease, their frequencies. And they give them names so that we won't know their frequency. Because through breath, we can pull that, we can get above that frequency. In the military, they taught us how to get above the pain. Well, you do it through breath. And that is one of the most important things to help your body relax. But we have a thing about breath coming up, so I won't get too deep into that. Uh, but just giving yourself a place where you can just sit. And in meditation, I've always thought meditation, it's not about being quiet when you first start. Everything that comes up in that meditation, like when you fall asleep, that's exactly what your body needs. That's why you're meditating. You need more rest. Or um, there, the things that come up are the ones that are causing the most issues. And if you, rather than stuff them back down, say, I don't want to see that, I don't want to go there, oh, that scares me, oh, that this, look at it, because if it's not happening anymore, the people that did that to you, their voice is in your head, and they are steering you in all your thoughts and decisions throughout the whole day. And if you don't like that person, or you really dislike that person, or there is hate there, these are frequencies, they're vibrations, and the deeper you're into it, the more of it you're putting into your body. So when you let go of that, more energy is available for your body, because it takes energy to hold that there. So this is one of the most important things that we can do is forgive, not for them. They're on their own journey. So that's why we do not forgive for them. We forgive for us. And once we break that energetic link, usually they'll change too, because it's that resistance isn't there anymore. So I'll end right there because I don't want to take up the whole thing here.
All right, then we move on to habit number 3, which is exercise. And we always talk a little about exercise, but let's see what's in here. If we lived in much earlier times, we might have been wanderers and gatherers, walking far and collecting food for survival. Of necessity, we would have moved about a great deal more than we do today.
Yeah.
Movement plays a vital role in our health issues. Much of your blood and lymph flow, especially in your lower extremities, moves by muscle activity. Notice when you are inactive for a while, either sitting or laying down, you tend to become more stiff, or tend to become stiff until you start moving around. The less toxic a person is, the less stiff he or she will be after periods of inactivity. Many great forms of exercise are available. I recommend walking, swimming, rebounding, tai chi, stretching, yoga, passive aerobic exercise, to name a few, as anyone in almost any condition can do these forms in part or whole, not a whole. Oh, God. Keep yourself active. If you are in a weakened state, build up slowly. Stop laughing, Carrie. I can't read.
Sorry.
But increase your activity level as much as you can do every day. Exercise is essential to becoming healthy. And what you have now, there are quite a few videos about it, is if you cannot stand or walk or do any of these things, there is chair yoga. And and I've been looking at it, it's actually pretty interesting because you are really moving. And then, of course, Tai Chi is already mentioned. We have the one that Gary is always showing us, the sun swing.
Yes.
And I have been teaching that to people too, so that is a good one.
Yeah, it's amazing. And you're right. And Dr. Morris obviously is right. Yoga, light stretching, going for a walk. We have three major lymphatic pumps, and the muscles moving is a lymphatic pump, but the balls of our feet and our diaphragm. So as we walk, we're usually breathing through our nose because we're just out for a stroll, right? And our whole body starts to calm down because we're breathing in through the nose, which is turns on the parasympathetic, especially if you exhale longer than you inhale. Um, so the whole body is in a form of reset, and it's pulling the blood from the limbs and putting it back in the core, because what happens in fight or flight, the blood goes into the limbs, and then your mind is scattered, your breath is shallow, your heart rate is racing, and your digestive system is off. So this is why, coming up to the breath thing, that's why it's so important. It rules everything in your life. I'm going to end right there.
I'm a big fan of walking, and I'm even a bigger fan of doing stuff like, vacuum your house, sweep outside of your house, doing manual labor. That's the kind of stuff that I really enjoy, and I think is what's best for our bodies. I think all these modern conveniences are fantastic, but people don't even vacuum their home anymore. People don't, a lot of people don't even make their beds, and they don't even use top sheets, but that's a whole nother second side. Yeah. But
Yeah,
anyway,
there's always even much more to do around the house, like when you have a yard.
yeah, out
We
there,
okay,
raking, leaving,
yeah, yeah.
trees, and then helping your neighbors too, working in community. Swimming is great, but a lot of swimming pools are chlorine based. So if you can find a saltwater one, even better. But it's just the natural movements of your body, what we're supposed to do every day. I see so many people, they're like, oh, I'm gonna go out and get healthy, and they start jogging.
Yeah.
My mom worked for a funeral conglomerate for many years. And you want to know the main thing everybody always said there? I have buried many joggers. Um,
Yes.
People are not always ready for the jogging. The human body is amazing and it is beautiful in motion, but you have to prepare that body for that motion. So make sure you're hydrated, make sure your kidneys are working, and stay cellularly hydrated. You can't just all be water. It's got to be your fruits, your fruit juices too. So there's a lot of alignment you got to come into before you can get out there and start running. And same with rebounding. Get them kidneys filtering first before you start doing the rebounding. So there's little work you got to do first before you can jump into the exercise. But the light movements, the chair yoga, the things like that, the walking, that is all wonderful. And those are wonderful ways to start your journey.
It's
Yes.
actually
And
interesting. Sorry, Gary, go ahead.
so this is the duality of it all. There's the Heart Attack Grill in Las Vegas. I think the lowest calorie meal there is 4,500 calories. Their PR person weighed 475 pounds,
Oh my gosh.
and he died. They cremated him, put him in a bag, and set him on the counter. And they have a new guy, and I believe that guy just died. So that's on the eating side. So then we go to the running side, right? On the cover of Runner magazine, they've had two PR people that promote their running magazine. They're both runners. One died at 56, the other one died at 57. And I had a friend, Steven, up in Maine, who came up with kind of it's a muscle manipulation to pull the body back into shape, whether you have tennis elbow, no matter what it is. He had this special way, and he created his own kind of like treatment things. He died at 56 running. Uh, our bodies aren't really made. Some are. Some bodies are made to run, but if they convince you that you're a runner and you start running, you start having shin splints and trouble with your feet and your knees and your hips and all this stuff. You're not made to be a runner. And when people do these 26-mile marathons, like in Boston, the people who win those usually pee blood for 3 days after. There's so much damage being created within their body, and they're pushing so hard. You're burning more energy than you're creating, and that's why the body is kind of falling apart. When you're doing yoga, you're holding a pose, and it is strenuous, uh, and you're doing your breath, or you're doing qigong, or you're doing tai chi. These are slow movements, and you're generating more energy than you're burning. And that energy is the energy that healed you, because it's the energy that created you. And if you want to rebuild your body, start slowing down. Start, when you watch people jump out of airplanes and they don't have a chute, and other people jump and they catch each other and all this stuff. Your body doesn't know the difference. Your mind sees that. It doesn't know the difference between you doing it, if it causes fear in your body, than actually doing it. It might not be the same level, but putting that frequency in your body is shifting you on shifting your health. So we have to be careful how we're using our energy. Well, I'll get into that when we get into the breath. Okay, I'm done.
Gary, I want to jump in on that. I just
Yeah.
watched a thing about that with the kids' TV shows nowadays, like even their
Yep.
cartoons, that
Yes.
they're so hyped up that it is affecting the children. And
Oh,
I was
absolutely.
saying that the way we kind of grew up in the 80s and 90s, our cartoons were a little bit slower. I mean, we still had, action packed like
Oh, yeah.
Transformer,
Yes.
but we also had Peter Rabbit.
Uh-huh.
And um, I'm much older than this, but the TV show Franklin that came out, those slow moving little cartoons that have, good little things behind them. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, I mean, even that. So what your kids watch, what you watch, all that action packed stuff, that does affect our heart. It affects our soul and it affects our energy field. And the other thing you said about Tai Chi too, how
Yep.
you are creating energy as you're doing that. You're
Yep.
building your frequency. We are electric
Mhm.
bodies. And
Mhm.
we're building that frequency. And when you build that frequency, you're tapping into the higher frequencies, which then help with, I mean, I can't say it fixes, but it helps your body to heal.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
It is the healing modality of your body, really.
I
Your
love
breath.
how you explained that with the slow energy. That's a good thing to use when talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
How it
Mhm.
works,
Yes.
because even though Dr. Moore says here under Habit 3 and exercise, many great forms of exercise are available, and I never really liked it that much. And I had when my daughter was I think 7 years old, I had her on Tai Chi actually. Qigong, I hadn't heard about it that much. Lately, I've been looking into that more because I absolutely love it and how it can affect the body. So it's an interesting concept. We see people driving their cars to gyms and
Mhm.
be an hour or even longer on the gym, and they are addicted to it. It has to happen every day, and then they wonder why they are sick and cannot heal. So,
Yeah, my favorite gym, there's one in California, and there's a pair of steps, pretty steep, that go up to the front doors. The two center lanes are escalators.
of
So you
course,
can ride an escalator up to the gym to
yeah,
go do your workout
yeah.
and take it back down. Now, maybe there's people going there that need it, but I'll bet 99% of the people that use it don't need it. They're just not walking because there's stairs on the side too. Uh, but wow, I mean, we're doing everything we can to not do anything.
And I
Um,
think it also depends how you feel because I remember when I lived on the in Holland they call that the first floor. Here you would call it the second floor. So there were quite a few steps, and I always ran up, and skipping a few of the steps, and it was just fun to do. I wouldn't say I have the energy capability to do it now, but yeah, but that was when I was not sick or had not been as sick as I have been. I was in my 20s, 30s, and that was fun.
mhm.
But I was never in a runner. I never really cared for that. Love to swim. But I like what Sarah said, you do things around the house, you keep yourself busy. But when you come to a point like I only need to vacuum once a week, definitely not once every day.
Mhm.
My beds have it's not a quilt, it's I don't know what they call it. So that is easily made, so that doesn't take a lot of energy. So it will be the walking. And if you're in Florida, you will hear everyone say, "Oh yeah, but it's way too hot to do any
Mhm.
walking." And I'm like, well, go outside 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, great temperature. Doesn't
Mhm.
matter how if it gets to 100 degrees, the mornings are perfect. So yeah, we can do a lot of things, but when I look at my life, there is not a lot of physical activity to do here, as in cleaning or even yard work. And then you find other things. Walking is always a great thing.
Mhm.
And I think the Qigong and Tai Chi, I mean, there are videos all over the internet, and definitely go to, well, you're already on this channel and look for the playlist that says Scary Parents, and you will see a lot of stuff there. So that helps you with your exercise, or actually, I like to more call it movements.
Yes. Yes, not exercise. I've had people question that, but it's movement. You're not building a sweat. You're moving, and it's everyday life. It's
Yeah, but
reaching up.
you know what it is, Gary? We think that we need to exercise, that we have
Yes.
to get our heart pumping, and that
Yep.
we have to sweat, and then we do a good thing. And I don't think that is what you would be doing, Sarah, with your daily movements.
Can you repeat that very last part?
That I don't think that you would work yourself into sweat because
Oh.
and get your heart pumping because that is the thing to do for your health.
Well, me, yes, I do.
Oh.
Yeah, remember, I have horses
Oh
and
Yeah,
yeah, the big the hay balls.
yeah, I was just
yeah.
so funny the other day. I was carrying two hay bales
Okay.
at one time.
Then
Wow.
I did
And
I I don't really believe in yeah, my heart pumps or my heart, it beats anyway. And a really heavy work, no, I don't do that anymore. And there's no heavy work for me to do.
no, I do.
Yes.
Yes, weed eating, mowing, horses, walking, leading, not to mention when they try to like run away from you, that's always
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are something. Horses are amazing.
Oh, I love them so much. And where I
Yeah.
am now, I swear it is Eden. It is just, oh my gosh. You even have to go through like an old stone tunnel to get there. And it's like a portal to heaven. I'm
Oh
just
man.
so in love there. But there are three girl horses there, mares. And boy, mares are so different than the boys. They're so moody, but I love them all. So yeah, there's always some kind of little thing going on to get your heart rate going.
Okay, I didn't say anything about that then. Okay, we go into habit number 4, deep breathing. We talk
All right.
about that on every podcast. So let's see what Dr. Morse is saying about it here.
Tony, let me correct you real quick. Not that. Like the girls are just moody. They fight all the time.
Oh,
That's what I mean. They're super moody. So they're always like getting into fights with each other.
wow.
Are they on the right diet, Sarah?
Yeah, I know, right? That's the problem. They always want to just be out grazing on the grass. And when you got to bring them in, they get so mad.
Yeah. Okay, breathing. The air we breathe is the life force for our physical body. Without it, we would die. God created a natural cycle whereby we breathe in oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen from plants, and we exhale carbon dioxide, which is the essential breath or physical life force for plant life. Oxygen, of course, is vital to your life. It is a great energizer, alkalizer, and oxidizer. The air we breathe, which is created by plants and trees, is alkaline, while the carbon dioxide byproducts we exhale are acidic. Being a predominantly alkaline species, it is vital that we learn to breathe properly and spend some time deep breathing. This changes the system with negative ions, creating a cationic condition in the body, whereas shallow breathing creates over-acidity and an anionic situation in the body. Anionic, I haven't heard that word before. Oxygen and simple sugars are the main fuels for our cells, as carbon dioxide is one of the main fuels for plants. Most humans were never taught to breathe properly, so we have become what we are called shallow breathers. If our breath becomes shallow, so does our life. Human beings and nature are not separate, but work together as one. It is when the human's ego separates him or her from nature that disease sets in. Deep breathing energizes the system, increases circulation and lymph flow. Deep breathing also clears the mind and settles the emotions, allowing us to feel more at peace with ourselves and with nature. The breath in spiritual traditions has been called the prana, chi, ki, life force, spirit, mana, the ACK, and many other names. There are a few individuals who consume mainly air as their food. I read about a Catholic nun who supposedly lived only on snow high in the Himalayan mountains. I was personally moving in the direction of trying to live solely on air back in the early 70s. I lived as a hermit in the national forests and state parks around Florida. I lived on oranges only for 6 months, hoping to eventually eliminate those. However, my energy was so high that I kept having out of body experiences and I became unbalanced with respect to this world. It was hard for me to communicate with others. Human awareness on earth and in this physical realm is very low when it comes to understanding true reality and the ability to interact with all life. I'm sorry, guys. Eventually, I balanced out my eating habits with raw fruits and vegetables. Try the following deep breathing exercise to increase the oxygen content within your body. The more you work with it, the more you will develop a better breathing pattern. Lie on your back on the couch, floor, or bed. Relax, relax, and relax. Place your right hand on your abdomen just above your navel. Breathe in through your nose without moving your shoulders. Watch as your hand moves up and down with your breathing. This requires breathing into the lower lobes of your lungs. Each time you breathe in, make your abdomen expand or move up, raising your hand with it. Then exhale from your mouth. Your abdomen will naturally contract as the air is released. Your hand will move as your abdomen lowers. After you have done this for several breaths, try increasing your intake of oxygen by breathing first from the abdomen. That means as if filling the abdomen, it expands. Then fill the top lobes of your lungs by inhaling more air in the upper thoracic cavities. This will raise your shoulders. Then exhale gently. Now let's look at this again. First, fill the lower lobes of your lungs by breathing to expand your abdomen. Keep inhaling and fill your upper lobes, elevating your chest and shoulder areas to allow for complete filling. Once full, exhale gently. You can practice deep breathing in any position. Work with this until it becomes second nature to take deeper and more filling breaths. Deep breathing will help alkalize and increase cellular respiration as well as increase elimination of acid gases. This is a great exercise to do before you meditate or just as a calming technique. Open yourself to nature in every way, and vitality, youthfulness, and a sense of connection will be yours.
True.
I never
So,
tried it that way.
well, anytime that we're doing a belly breath,
Yeah.
you can't do it wrong.
No, no, no. I'm not saying I'm doing it wrong, but it
No,
was
no,
like,
I know that. I'm
yeah,
saying that to the public.
right.
You know, you can't do it wrong. Uh, as long as you're breathing in through your nose, when you breathe in through your nose, it actually puts pressure on the primal brainstem. It goes up into the cerebellum, and your plates in your head expand. And a cool thing to do is just put your finger right between your eyebrows, right in that notch where your nose and your skull connect, and push your tongue up against your palate. And you should feel that separate. You should feel it moving. You might have to move it around a little bit to feel it. But if that does not move and these plates don't move in your head, you have neurological issues that are absolutely mind blowing of how it will affect how your body moves, how you think. These plates must stay uh, or must have the ability to move. So when you do a inhale, nice belly breath, this expands. Now, inside the cerebellum is the pineal gland, and it's covered with piezo crystals. And as that moves, it starts shaking that, and it generates energy. And that's the energy that created you, and it's the energy that heals you. That's done through uh, body movement and breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And if you exhale twice as long as you inhale or longer than you inhale, it'll start pulling the blood back from your limbs and take you out of fight or flight and put you in rest, digest, and heal. Turns on the parasympathetic or the vagus nerve, which comes out from behind your ears down through, and it covers your whole stomach. So it's really important to know what breath is and how it's affecting your body mechanically, manually. When we take over, we supercharge our body, and our lungs do not breathe. They're just a sack. So when we're doing breathing exercises, stomach, and we're involving the chest like that, we're setting all kinds of neurological pathways. We're reconnecting things, and we're making the breathing muscles stronger. So as they get stronger, the diaphragm will drop down further. 2/3 of our fluid is from the pubic bone to the sternum. So as we're breathing in, the diaphragm is going down, the heart relaxes, which will lower your blood pressure. Okay. And then when you exhale through your mouth, the diaphragm comes back up, and it's helping to pump the blood, taking a lot of the pressure off in your heart. And with the fruits, the berries, the melons, the live liquids, you're actually reducing the inflammation, which also steals energy. So as you get the inflammation down in your body and you're using that diaphragm as a pump, you're completely changing the whole molecular structure and genetic structure of your body. So these are important things to know. 70%, if you're on a detox, 70% of that detox is through your breath. And you want to do deep breathing for that, in through the nose. There's a vortex up here. And as the air goes in, it changes the temperature, filters it, and gets it ready to go into the lungs. The mouth does not do that. You're direct air right in. It's like having well, I don't know how many people would understand this, but there's got to be one out there other than me. If you have a carbureted motor and you have an air filter on top, well, it's filtering the air going into the engine. But if you take that off and you just let the air go right down into the engine, right through the carburetor without filtering it first, well, it's a little bit dirty air. It's pulling in dirt, leaves, twigs, whatever, right? And it's going right down into the carburetor. Same thing right here, okay? It's direct. Through the nose, it's actually much better for you to breathe through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Now, Wim Hof goes in through the mouth, out through the mouth. Another thing is our lungs are more towards our back. So when we're sitting in a chair at night and we're half asleep, or we just ate and we ate a heavy meal and we're sitting there vegging out on some television show or a movie, and the movies now are cut faster, and it's changing how the mind processes things. So to be able to breathe, to slow that down, to watch old movies where some of the scenes, the actors had to act for like 5 or 6 minutes instead of a split second, and the cameras are moving around and everything. So it's very disorienting, and it can cause a lot of chaos in the body. The breath will correct that. It will recenter you. And knowing that 70% of that is just a second. Some people next door there. So uh, the breath is the single most important thing you'll do next to live liquids or live foods. When you put them in your body, it helps to alkalize the body. And as the body alkalizes, tempers go away, different pains and things.
I like your Coco Pellis on top.
Thank you. And the whole thing is we are in control, not the government, not your doctor, not anybody, because they don't understand your body like you do or you can. When you really start to listen to your body and you take just 5 real slow breaths in through the nose, exhale longer than you inhaled, it'll change your whole day. And I when I am working with people, I don't ask them or tell them about breath work. I say, you know something I'd like to do right now? And I just start doing breath work and have them join me. And it is crazy how much it affects their body, because almost everything that's wrong with the body is lack of oxygen and real hydration, live liquids, live foods. So, okay, I'll end right there because I love breath work.
Well, and I was just going to mention if breath work is new to you, when I was learning how to take deeper breaths because I used to always be like a shallow breather. I would put sticky notes around my house. And so then whenever I saw a sticky note, I would pause and then
Mhm.
I would stand there and take a couple of deep belly breaths just so that throughout the day I would get in the habit of doing that. So that's just what I would like to add to the conversation.
Yeah, that's really important. Is to be aware, because we are not aware of our breath at all, and our breath is really the first one is in, it gave us life. The last one is out, and the energy goes back to source. There's not enough magnetic uh, draw from your cells to hold the energy. That's all dis-ease is you're magnetically losing the energy from source, from God, from however you want, whatever name you want to give that. As you're drawing it into your body, is magnetizing and realigning all of your cells. And the lack of it is called dis-ease, or what they call disease. They're just frequencies, and breath controls your frequency. And you inhale a healing breath. That's all you have to do, is put your mind to, when I inhale, the vibration that goes into my body will heal whatever is uh, causing my dis-ease at this time. And you can breathe into your heart, you can breathe into your shoulder, you can breathe into this finger, anywhere on this finger, wherever there's an issue. And when we move, we think about oiling the joints, because the body has to do what you tell it. So, okay.
And now the body has to listen.
Yes,
Okay. Does it always, Gary?
always.
Okay, good.
I've had people in class that uh, we had a woman. I think she's 84, and this is out here in Arizona. So we were doing qigong, and she went, "Oh," and I heard her say it, and I looked, and she had a lot of pain on her face, and I said, "Did you just have some pain come?" She goes, "Yes." I said, "Okay, I want you to focus on that pain, breathe into it, and tell it to leave your body." And her face went, "Did it go?" She goes, "Yeah." I said, "You are the commander in chief of your body, not your doctor, not your friends, nobody. You. It's your body, and you're the energy in it. And if you tell that pain to go, it has to go." And that's such a, to be 84 years old and just figure that out, because we're not being told. We're
No,
not we're
that's
not being
why,
shown how.
yeah, that's why we say we still keep learning.
Yeah.
And eventually the information comes to us. I'm happy that even at her age, she finally learned it.
Mm.
I have to say, I only learned that recently too, and that comes from you. So,
Yeah, it's wild. I
yeah,
had
yeah, there are things that you do naturally when you are in a lot of pain. And
yeah.
actually, people have been trained to the first thing they do is grab a painkiller. And I've never done that. So that is actually a good thing. So I
Yeah.
can deal, or yeah, I say I can deal with pain. It's not that I have a high pain limit. It's just what you do with it, how you breathe through it.
Yes, again, it goes back to the military. When you're in extreme pain, you breathe, and you mentally and physically pull your mind above the pain, so that you won't give away your location for the other people that are there also. So to be able to breathe through that and eliminate that, or at least be able to deal with it while there's battles going on or whatever, uh, that's one of the most important things that you can do in the military, besides being active and fighting with your soldiers, or when you're down, being able to be quiet. And I mean, the injuries are horrific, and to be able to mentally get above that pain, this is what we do naturally. This is why when we're under stress, we mentally get above that stress. and it just keeps building and building and building because we're not breathing properly and releasing it. And we think that we are that. This is another thing that happens. Our circle, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So our circle of influence sets our limitations unless they are themselves able to flow freely through life and you're learning from them. But there is a group of people, they're stuck down here in this low frequency and this low vibration, and hurting people hurt people. So they're going to say things to you to try to set the limits of where they're at so you can't get above it. And being able to step beyond that. And a lot of people have a hard time losing their friends. And it's not that you're going to lose them, you still love them. They just don't understand. They don't understand the journey that you're on and what you want to do, and they will try everything to pull you back. And part of letting go is your journey as you raise your elevation. You have to be able to let go of that, just like you have to let go of trauma and let go of the other things. You don't have to, but it's better for you if you do, because it will balance out your energy. Okay, I'll stop.
Yeah, we're barely halfway. It's already
Yeah.
half an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, habit number 5, dry skin brushing. There's probably not much discussion about this. He starts with, because he's relating back to a chapter in the book. In previous chapters, we covered the skin and its disorders. For example, in chapter 5, module 5.9. So if you have the book, go there, read that too. Remember that you eliminate up to 2 pounds of metabolic wastes and toxins per day through your skin. This is unbelievable. I didn't know it was that much. 2 pounds. It is your largest eliminating organ. When the layers of your skin become full of acids and toxins, you develop rashes, pimples, boils, and other conditions like psoriasis. Skincare should be one of your top priorities. It is important to clean the skin every day with a bath or preferably a shower. It would be valuable to put a water softener or reverse osmosis system in your house, as inorganic minerals clog and block the pores of the skin. You will notice the difference in your skin and the softness of your hair when using pure soft water over hard mineralized water. Another great way to enhance skin health is through dry skin brushing. This removes old and dead skin cells and promotes circulation and lymph flow, allowing the skin to breathe much better. All you need is a long-handled vegetable fiber brush, which is generally available at your local health food store. Do not use a nylon bristle brush for the skin. Brush your feet, legs, and hands first. It does not matter which direction you brush in. However, brushing towards the center of your body is beneficial. Since there are nerve endings in your hand and feet, you will experience a tingling sensation as you stimulate your nervous system. Cleaning the skin in this manner is of great benefit to gain vibrant, healthy skin. Over the years, people who attended Dr. Jensen's seminars learned what healthy skin should look like. Even up to his death at 93, Dr. Jensen's skin was always as soft and healthy as a baby. Try to spend some time in the fresh air with a few clothes on as possible. Let your skin breathe. Is any one of you guys doing dry brushing?
Uh, I would say no. I'm doing a lot of tapping, which is moving, like, these kind of things. But dry brushing, no, I don't. I don't do dry brushing. I've done gua sha, which is kind of like a dry brush. Um, it's just a little deeper, I think. And the big controversy is, do I brush towards the heart, uh, or not towards the heart? Because there are two theories and I believe the one that Dr. Morse is talking about, that the lymph filters through the kidneys and it doesn't go back into the bloodstream, because the modern day doctors believe that the lymph comes up, it goes in through gate one right here, and it goes down and it goes back into the heart and back into the circulatory system. Well, no, I don't believe that. But those are the two theories. And does it matter which one it is? No, as long as it's filtering, I'm good. I don't need to know. And this is another thing. There are so many things that we are taught that we do not need to know. We need to know that the body works on pressure. That's how it functions. And that's what our breath does. It's a pressure regulator right here. This is the new belly button. And when a woman is pregnant and she's really careful about what they eat, because they know they're feeding you. But as soon as you're born and they cut that cord, all all theory out the window, right? They're giving babies beer and whiskey and sour things, and well, not that there's anything wrong with sour things, but it's to make them, scrunch their face up, uh, so that we're simple. We're not as complicated as a matter of fact. I heard a thing, this was yesterday in a video, brand new, brand new, brand new, that the lungs have a glue that forms around the alveola. And I think that's right. Is that what that in the lungs anyway? Those little grape sacs. You know what that is? It's not new. It's called mucus. And the longer it's there, the more gel-like it gets.
Yeah.
And it's very sticky, so it's like glue. But you can call it anything you want to. If you're doing live liquids and you're doing breath work, you're moving all those cells. That vibration is cleaning them and putting it out through the 13 channels of elimination, so that the body can get rid of it. And most everything comes out. Your skin, moles and skin tags and warts and rashes, and the body's trying to push that stuff out. And if there's too much there, it's going to start to, yeast, mold, and fungus will start to grow, and you'll have all these issues. So yeah, skin is really important. And when you see somebody with really, really healthy skin, I mean, they look amazing. So that's what kind of like youth is. Youth has this young skin, but the way that we are trained to eat, one of the big crimes is the food pyramid. It's upside down. The fruit should be on the bottom, not on the top. And the wheats and grains should be up there. Very, very little of it is what we should be eating. And in today's world, with the way they're manufacturing things, it's best not to eat bread at all, because of the glyphosate and the other stuff they're using on it. Because it's oil based and they can't wash off the plant. And only 1% of what they spray actually goes on the plant. The rest goes in the ground, kills the bacteria. And that's why our food is lacking the things that we need, the vitamins, minerals, electrolytes, because it's not getting in the plant from the ground. The ground is actually dead. It's almost like concrete. It's not that hard to regenerate. And if it's not that hard to regenerate in the soil, it's not that hard to regenerate in the body. But you have to give it natural things. And that's the big duality that we face here. You can't tell me that something that grows outside in the dirt and is sun ripened, you can't tell me that that's not going to be good for you compared to, and you're out there taking care of the plants. You're loving the plants and they're connected to you, versus a factory where I go in and I go, I don't know what I'm going to do today. Let me see. I'll throw some of this in here and I'll put some of that in there, and I'm having a real bad day. That energy goes into that food, and it's in synthetic light. It's lacking so many things, and love being one of them. That's why Mom's cooking was so good for us, because it was done with love, and it's in the food.
It's interesting that you mentioned that because I found that I always love to try out new restaurants, and
Mm,
I find vegan, raw vegan restaurants, and when they just start out, they have this super positive energy. But when they have been, and the food is absolutely great, but when they
mhm.
have been there for a few years, you see that going down, and the food doesn't taste as good anymore. And I see that with my plants too. If my husband or I tend to them, they are doing amazing. But if I have someone, and I had that when I was sick, water the plants, and they don't have that connection with the
Mhm.
plants don't thrive as well.
Yeah, this is cool. I did this one time. Uh, the rice experience from Dr. Emoto. So we took sterilized containers, just small ones, and you put rice and sterilized water in the little things, and you write love on one, and you don't write anything on the middle one, and on the last one you write hate or something like that. And every day for 30 days, you walk up, and they're like this far apart, like 6 inches or whatever apart, foot. Uh, and you say loving things to this little jar of rice, and you just look at it and walk by it. You don't even talk to it. You just ignore it. And the last one you say hateful things to, and in 30 days what you said hateful things to, that will be brown black sludge in the bottom of the jar. The one you ignored is about is is darker, and it's starting to decay because it's being neglected. And the first one that you said loving things to, that rice does not change at all. And we are 70% water. I believe we're more than that, but okay, we'll go with 70. If we're 70% water and we're being ignored, or we're having hateful things said to us, it changes our genetic code. It changes how we feel. It changes our water. But if you're in a loving relationship, you're happy and health is pretty good. So we have those things that we have to consider as we're going through life, because if you're the one that's spreading that's ignoring or spreading uh, hateful things, well, you're affecting your body as well as all those around you, and your circle of influence gets like that. Whereas if you're loving, a lot of people can't be around that because they're in that those other two categories. So you'll start attracting to you all the people who enjoy life and are loving. When I go to bed at night, I say I love my life, and I do love my life.
Yeah,
So,
that's always how I end the day too, with a lot of
mm,
gratitude
mm,
and thanking, and yeah, and sleep better too.
yeah.
So you got back to habit one, that was be good to yourself and be grateful. We reached an hour and almost 20 minutes, and we have
Wow.
a few topics left. We are going to have a part two next week,
All right.
because
Well,
otherwise we will be talking another hour.
Well, I was just going to mention, since we were talking about dry brushing, I actually do it. And I used to do it every day. But then now I only do it about like every other day. And I have a brush that I use in my shower. So I do my dry brushing when I'm standing in the shower, because then my skin falls in the shower and I can rinse it down. But I do it before I shower, and then I shower. And then when I get out and I'm all dried off and kind of dressed, I even have a small little round brush that I use on my face as well. And my, Matt says, Katie, your skin feels so much softer, and it really does. And I have noticed that it you can just see the healing, the health benefits of it. I feel like my face, even though I do have wrinkles, I feel like the skin just looks like it has a little bit more of a glow,
Mhm.
and I don't know, like a smoothness, if you kind of understand what I'm trying to explain.
Absolutely.
So so I think that that has been one thing that I've added in the last year that has really benefited me, you know. So yeah, I just wanted to share a little bit since we were talking about dry brushing. So I do it just about every other day because I thought that doing it every day was almost a little bit too much, you know. So
Hmm. Yeah, it can be. And that's perfect that you did that, because that's something people should understand is not everybody's the same. And you may want to do dry brushing every day, but it might actually cause more issues than it helps. So, uh,
well, and that's another thing, like, okay, so when I learn something new that will help, you know, improve my health,
yeah.
I jump in and you being on the show and talking with you guys have really taught me that slow down. You can't do it all at the same time because that is overwhelming for your body, which then is the opposite of healing. So, that, you know, just so everyone who's listening, just take it slow, add things, you know, as you're able to, and then, you know, you'll figure out your rhythm and what works and what doesn't work, you know, and things like that. So that's just a friendly reminder. But all these steps that we're talking about are good for you, but you know, just in moderation, just follow your own body, follow your own journey. So
Mm.
Thank you, Katie. Sarah, anything to add?
Nope, this was a wonderful podcast, but on all the stuff I've been listening to and studying and stuff like that, I think this was in perfect alignment for exactly what I was ready to speak on without even knowing anything about it. So, what a wonderful podcast. But see, that's how it works. When we're all in frequency, we're all in tune with each other. And this is what getting high really is.
Hmm.
This is the real high. It's being high on life and frequency and fruit and energy, and nothing can beat it.
No, it's there's absolute beauty in it. So thank you for being here and yeah, discussing these topics. We have more to come.
Yes, and thank you all so much, and Toni for bringing this up, and Katie for your input, and Gary for your gnosis, and this just works. Love you all so much, and wonderful show.
All right.
Yeah, love to you all. Until the
Yeah.
next
Love
time.
you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
bye.
Bye bye.